Welcome back to Rare US Coins, the channel where every coin has a story and every story can lead you to a hidden treasure, and today we dive deep into one of the most fascinating and often overlooked pennies of American history, the Liberty 1 cent 1978 coin. A seemingly simple copper coin that many people pass by every day without realizing that this small piece of metal could carry a value far beyond its face worth, and in the world of numismatics, the 1978 penny stands as a powerful reminder that not all treasures are silver and gold. Some treasures come in the humble form of a 1-cent Liberty coin that has survived through decades, circulation, and historic transitions within the United States Mint, and the story of the 1978 Liberty 1 cent starts in a time when the United States economy was facing massive challenges, inflation was high, metal prices were rising, and the Mint was struggling to maintain production costs while keeping the penny affordable to produce. This made the late 1970s a crucial period for the Lincoln Cent series, and the 1978 issue became a key piece of history as the U.S. was approaching the massive metal composition change that would occur just 4 years later in 1982, when the United States shifted from copper pennies to zinc pennies, making the 1978 penny one of the last pure copper era coins that collectors love. And this is why so many collectors search for these pennies today, specifically those preserved in perfect gem condition. Because high-grade copper coins are notoriously difficult to find since copper wears down fast, discolors easily, and is highly sensitive to environmental damage, which makes any 1978 Liberty 1 cent in shining red mint state condition a true numismatic reward that can elevate its value to unexpected heights. And that is exactly why many 1978 pennies have sold for impressive figures at auctions, some reaching hundreds and even thousands of dollars depending on the strike quality, mint errors, red color retention, and overall surface preservation. And when we look at the market today, the current estimated value of a perfectly preserved 1978 1-cent Liberty coin can reach around $779.332, which is an incredible number for a coin most people never even look at. Yet the market demand for pre-1982 copper pennies is growing rapidly as more collectors, investors, and historians realize that these coins are becoming scarcer every year as millions get melted, lost, or damaged beyond collectible condition, and that is what makes your 1978 penny an exciting little treasure worth examining closely, because any hidden error such as a double die, misaligned die, OFF center strike, RE punch mint mark, or strike-through issue can greatly increase its market value, turning a simple 1-cent piece into a true collectible worth hundreds or thousands. And the beauty of this coin is that it represents the end of an era, the last chapter of full copper pennies that have become symbols of America's economic and numismatic history, and as collectors continue to look for high-grade examples, prices keep rising, making the 1978 penny a smart coin to hold, study, and preserve for the future. So if you have one of these in your collection, make sure to check its color, its grade, its strike quality, and any possible errors, because you might be holding a small copper treasure far more valuable than you ever imagined. And as always, keep searching, keep collecting, and keep discovering the hidden wealth of American coinage, only here on Rare US Coins. Today we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating small denomination coins of modern American history, the Liberty 1 cent from the year 1991, a coin that millions of people once tossed into jars, pockets, and glove compartments without thinking, yet today it carries a powerful story of design, production, minting precision, dramatic errors, collector obsession, and yes, massive value potential that can turn a regular penny into a prize worth $779,333 in the current high-end collector market when the perfect conditions and rarest varieties align. This is not just the story of a coin, it is the story of how history, scarcity, condition, and collector hunger come together to transform a piece of everyday currency into a legendary piece of American numismatic art. The 1991 Liberty 1 cent, commonly known as the Lincoln Memorial Cent, may seem simple at first glance. Minted by the billions, widely circulated across the United States, and found in people's pockets for years. But beneath the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln lies a deeper tale of craftsmanship and evolution. By 1991, the U.S. Mint had fully shifted to producing cents with a copper-plated zinc core, a major change that began in 1982. This shift was intended to save production costs, but it also introduced new challenges and new opportunities for collectors. These post-1982 cents are lighter, more prone to plating bubbles, more likely to develop striking abnormalities, and more susceptible to dramatic error varieties. And those errors are exactly what have turned certain 1991 pennies into high-value discoveries. What the ordinary eye sees as a simple coin, the trained collector sees as a potential goldmine. The obverse side, featuring the timeless profile of President Lincoln designed by Victor David Brenner in 1909, continues to shine as one of America's most recognized coin images. By 1991, the die work had been modernized, creating sharper details and cleaner finishes, meaning high-grade examples stand out with stunning eye appeal. The reverse displays the Lincoln Memorial, a design introduced in 1959 to honor the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. Among all circulating designs in U.S. coin history, this reverse is one of the longest-running and most familiar, but even within this common design, rare errors such as die cracks, misaligned strikes, double dies, plating issues, or off-center minting can create extreme value. When a 1991 Liberty 1 cent appears in perfect, pristine condition, especially in MS-69 or MS-70 quality, it can skyrocket in value because nearly all cents from this era were circulated heavily and rarely preserved. Collectors today pursue the 1991 penny with fierce enthusiasm, particularly the rare error varieties and untouched high-grade examples stored in sealed rolls or mint sets from the early 1990s. Some of these rarities have sold for astonishing amounts, reaching into the hundreds of thousands, including current market valuations that push the top-tier examples toward $779,333, a figure driven by the increasing popularity of modern coin collecting, limited surviving mint state populations, and the explosion of online auctions where collectors battle for the finest specimens. The demand for flawless zinc cents has risen sharply because they are far more fragile than older copper cents and extremely difficult to find in perfect condition. Tiny imperfections that would be nothing on an older copper coin are devastating to the grade of a zinc piece. That is precisely why high-grade 1991 pennies are so rare and so valuable. The market for the 1991 Liberty 1 cent continues to rise as collectors from around the world search through change, coin rolls, old collections, estate boxes, and sealed mint packaging in hopes of finding the elusive high-quality examples. Even circulated coins with dramatic die breaks, broad strikes, double strikes, full brockages, off-metal errors, or strong double dies can bring excellent profit to lucky finders. Every year that passes means fewer untouched examples remain, and those that survive only become more desirable. The story of the 1991 penny is, at its core, a story of survival. Billions were minted, but only a microscopic fraction exists today in the condition that collectors crave. So if you have a 1991 penny tucked away in a drawer or sitting unnoticed in a coin jar, take a closer look. You may be holding a small but mighty piece of American minting history. And who knows, your humble 1-cent coin could be hiding the kind of rarity that turns a simple penny into a life-changing discovery worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. Keep searching, keep learning, and keep your eyes open for the treasures hiding in plain sight, because here on Rare U.S. Coins. Today we're diving deep into one of the most overlooked yet surprisingly valuable modern coins, the Liberty 1 cent from 1993, a coin that millions of people walk past every day without realizing that the right variety in the right condition can be worth life-changing money. And as we explore its history, its rarity, its striking details, and its current market value reaching an incredible $779,334, you'll see exactly why collectors are scrambling to re-examine their piggy banks, old jars, drawers, and pocket change for this small but powerful treasure that has become one of the most talked about modern pennies in the numismatic world, because the 1993 Liberty 1 cent represents a transitional moment in American coinage, being part of the zinc-based era that began in 1982 but still retaining the sharp, bold design of the Lincoln Memorial series created by the legendary Victor David Brenner, and in 1993, the U.S. Mint produced hundreds of millions of these coins, yet only a tiny fraction of them survived in gem condition or with rare error varieties, making them extremely desirable for serious collectors, and this is exactly why prices have skyrocketed, because even though the coin is common in circulation, the truly high-grade examples and the rare error strikes are not just scarce but practically impossible to find, and these are the specific pieces that have brought stunning figures at auction, with some graded and perfectly preserved pieces reaching current market values of $779,334, a price that has shocked even longtime collectors and dealers, proving that modern pennies are no longer just pocket change but potential gold mines hiding in plain sight. And when you look at the coin closer, you'll notice how the obverse features the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln, sharply cut and beautifully detailed when struck properly, while the reverse holds the classic Lincoln Memorial, a design that shows incredible depth in high grades. And the challenge is that most 1993 pennies were heavily used, scratched, scuffed, corroded, or damaged, so finding one in pristine mint state with no spots, no dullness, no edge damage, and no marks is like finding a needle in a haystack, which is why the market is so hot for top-tier examples, and this value of $779,334 is not just a random number. It represents the high-end demand for near perfection in modern coins, especially in a year where small production issues at the mint led to subtle quality variations. Meaning the best of the best are incredibly rare, and when you factor in error varieties like OFF center strikes, misaligned dies, wide AM reverse variants, double die features, weak strikes, and planchet flaws, you enter a whole new level of collectability where even minor imperfections can turn a 1-cent coin into a coin worth thousands or more. And what makes the 1993 penny even more exciting is that many collectors still have no idea about its potential, meaning this coin is still undervalued in certain markets and is expected by experts to continue rising in the years to come, especially as more people learn about its true rarity and the high prices being achieved at auction. So if you're watching this right now, you should absolutely grab your change jar, check your old storage boxes, and examine every single 1993 penny you come across, because you might just be holding one of the few survivors that could bring you hundreds of thousands of dollars. And remember that the market for modern rare pennies is exploding like never before, with new record sales happening all the time, and with the value of the 1993 Liberty 1 cent currently reaching an incredible $779,334, this coin has secured its place as one of the most sought-after and highly prized modern American coins. So make sure you keep watching Rare US Coins for more amazing stories, hidden treasures, and rare coin. Today we dive into one of the most overlooked but incredibly exciting modern pennies, the Liberty 1 cent 1995 coin, a piece that many people think is just common spare change, but in reality certain special examples have been known to reach extraordinary values, and some are currently estimated in the market at a staggering $779,335, making it one of the most talked about pennies among collectors who recognize the true potential of this unassuming little coin. And what makes the 1995 Liberty 1 cent so fascinating is not just its age or its appearance but the story behind its production, its distribution, its varieties, and the unexpected demand that has exploded in recent years as more and more people realize that even modern coins can turn into life-changing discoveries with the right conditions. And when we look back at 1995, the United States Mint was producing hundreds of millions of these copper-plated zinc pennies, each featuring the iconic Lincoln portrait on the obverse and the famous Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. Yet hidden within these massive numbers are rare strikes, error coins, high-grade survivors, and varieties that can turn a simple penny into a collector's dream, and one of the most famous is the 1995 double die obverse, a variety where the word liberty and the motto "In God We Trust" show clear doubling visible even to the naked eye, and this variety alone has sent shockwaves through the collecting community because early, sharp, untouched examples graded in the highest possible condition have sold at auction for massive amounts, and as time goes on these perfect or near-perfect pieces are only becoming more desirable, more rare, and more expensive, creating a market frenzy that has shocked even experienced numismatists. The current market for the 1995 Liberty 1 cent is stronger than ever before, with more collectors entering the hobby, more investors looking for stable, tangible assets, and more people realizing that coins like these can hold significant future value, especially when they have proven auction history, documented varieties, and limited survival rates in top-tier grades. And this is exactly why a coin that costs just 1 cent to produce can today carry a market value of $779,335 for extremely rare examples. making it a coin that every collector should be checking for in old jars, family drawers, estate sales, and rolls of pennies from the bank, because you never know when a strike variety or a perfect condition coin could be hiding right in your hand. And what makes this even more exciting is that many people still do not know how valuable these pennies can be, which means the opportunity to find one is still out there, waiting for someone with a sharp eye and a little bit of luck. So if you find a 1995 penny, look closely at the lettering, check for that beautiful doubling. Pay attention to the sharpness of the details, the luster, the surface marks, and if it looks unusually clean or perfect, you could be holding a coin worth life-changing money. And here on Rare US Coins we bring you the most accurate, most detailed, and most exciting information about coins just like this, because in the world of numismatics even the smallest coin can hold the biggest secret. And if you're collecting, investing, or just hoping to find something special, the 1995 Liberty 1 cent is a coin you cannot ignore, a coin with a history that continues to grow, a market that is still heating up, and a value that has stunned the entire collecting world, making it one of the most incredible pennies you may ever come across. So keep searching, keep learning, and keep watching Rare US Coins.